Hey everyone, and welcome to Chef AJ Live. I'm your host, Chef AJ, and this is where I introduce you to amazing people like you who are doing great things in the world that I think you should know about. Well, today is the third Tuesday of the month, so we debut a brand new show on Chef AJ Live called Vinegar and Spice and Everything Nice, starring Tommy Allen from California Balsamic, also known as Tommy Balsamic, and Nick DeVoren from local Spicery. You are sideways now, Thomas. You're going to have to fix that.
Oh, I'm sideways.
Yeah, you're sideways. So what I'll do is I'll talk in
just a second.
Okay, so let me talk to Nick first. Nick, how you doing?
I'm doing great, AJ. How are you?
Good. How did you enjoy the conference? By the way, the conference, meaning the Live Your Best Life conference that I co-produced and hosted in Sacramento, a total sold-out success with several of the local plant-based superstars and doctors. And how did people like your spices?
Well, they loved the spices. They loved the conference. I think the conference was an absolute triumph. We walked out of there absolutely reinvigorated. My wife has a long list of new things that we have to try, and it was a great conference. I heard you once say that this might be your last, and a lot of people.
I know. I said that, and then now everybody's like, "Please, we got so much out of it." So, well, I thought, everything in life is hard for some people, but it's a special type of stress producing a conference because you have so many hats you're wearing and so many things can go wrong. For example, the rain, the roads were flooded and we didn't almost have Dr. Goldhammer appear because he could not get here, like physically, but they found a way.
So might be the last reminds me back in the 70s among people in the environmental movement. There was a famous party that you were an A-lister if you got invited, but it was at a state senator's ranch in Mendocino County, and it was deemed the last ever barbecue, and he had them in a row. I went all the way through to the 12th annual last ever barbecue at his ranch.
That is so funny. So I'm curious, what spices were the most sold at the conference? What did people really seem to like the best?
Well, the salacious sold out the fastest, salacious and the Saigon cinnamon. I think everybody liked everything. We only brought 10 items, and they were all ones that we knew would be very popular. There were some people that were disappointed that we didn't have their favorites. But I'll tell you, the best thing for me was, people would come up and I instantly look at their name tag because I recognized so many names from the orders that we get through. It was, kind of like suddenly putting on the color glasses or whatever and seeing faces to match the names on the orders we've been getting.
Well, what I think we should do is even if we do a conference, it's not likely that it would be this year, would be next year. We should do a local meetup if we get that wonderful house again and have both you and Thomas at the same time and tell people, hey, tell us what you want and we'll bring it.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, I'm so glad you were able to attend. And Tommy Balsamic, how about you? Did you do a lot of vinegar tasting at the conference?
Well, we had so many people who come up to our booth because this is the first time many people have ever been given a chance to try everything. We brought all 37 of our SOS free flavors, and we put all 37 squeeze bottles on the table so they could try everything. It was a little bit of a pain in the butt to have so many. And we ran out of course, our best sellers, the Italian sweet heat, curry, Gilroy garlic, ruby red onion, and cucumber, all the fresh ingredient flavors. We sold out of all of those. So we would just know next time, bring 2 cases of each of those. And then the other fruity flavors, just bring a few, just at least so people can try them. So if they want to order them in the future, that's, they get to do that. So people were, like Nick said, so many people came up and said, "Oh, Thomas," when they act like they're one of your best friends. I said, yeah. "Who is this?" And I said, "Oh my gosh!" You look at their name tag. It says, "Oh, this is somebody that I've chatted to on the phone several times, but had never met them." So that was the biggest kick. And the woman, Susanna, who's probably watching right this minute from Canada, she had flown down from Canada to to this conference. And she heard that there was another person from Canada. So she sought them out. And lo and behold, they were from the same town in Canada and they did not know each other. What are the odds on that?
Yep. Well, that's what we do at Chef AJ's events. We connect people. So you both used to come on once a month separately, but I thought instead of giving you each a half hour separate, since you're buds and we're all friends, why not put you guys together? So what do we have to look forward to this new show, Vinegar and Spice and Everything Nice?
So,
you want to go first, Tom? You go.
Yep, I'm going to do 4 dishes today, and Nick's going to make something, and it's going to be super simple. These dishes are really super easy to do, and one of them, Chef, is your recipe that we've enjoyed over the years. So
that's fantastic.
Bringing back an old favorite.
Can't wait. What are you going to be doing, Nick?
So I'm going to be doing a recipe that comes from my youth. It's a Peruvian dish. I don't know if many people know that I trained for many years under a Peruvian violinist, and my lessons were at 11 o'clock. So while I was playing, his wife was cooking these wonderful Peruvian dishes. But this is papa a la Huancaina, which is potatoes in an ají amarillo sauce. The real star of this is the sauce, which we use for the potatoes a lot. We use it for a salad dressing. We put it in bowls. It is a ridiculously easy to make, very delicious, and goes on everything, kind of an SOS-free sauce.
Can't wait. And who wants to go first, or do you want to go back and forth? Because I'll spotlight you when you're cooking.
I would say let's go with Tom.
Yeah,
I was going to say
easier for me to do my gig first, because they can do pop, pop, pop. And while Nick is actually cooking something, it's easier probably to do us separately. So we're going to start off with Chef AJ. Boom! In this book that you've got right here in front, your Own Your Health. This is your curry in a hurry, because our flavor of the day is our Spice Traders Curry Balsamic, which I know is one of your favorites, Chef. And the name of it, we called this Spice Traders Curry Balsamic as a throwback to our original company, Très Classique. And one of the flavors that we had back then was a flavor called the Spice Traders Ginger Curry, a combination of both ginger and curry in the bottle. And since this was a curry balsamic, I thought, let's use the original name, Spice Traders Curry Balsamic, and that's the story behind that. And your recipe that you have in your book called 12 Delicious Ways to Use California Balsamic Vinegar Other Than the Obvious. And you said in here, many people think of balsamic vinegar as simply something to put on salads or use as a finishing sauce, which is true, but there are many other wonderful uses for it, from everything from beverages to dessert. And all recipes are in my latest book, Own Your Own Health, and Amazon, which are in the order notes. So what we have here, curry in a hurry. Here is what you do when you need curry in a hurry. Using a bag of frozen organic rice and a bag of broccoli, I can make this quick and satisfying meal in the microwave in 7 minutes flat. And in the ingredients, we took 2 cups of cooked rice, 12 ounces of steamed broccoli, finely chopped after steaming, a 1/4 cup of golden raisins, a 1/4 cup of chopped scallions, the green part, thank you very much, 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of dry turmeric, and 2 to 4 tablespoons of California Balsamic Spice Traders Curry. And you just mix them all together in the bowl and serve it. And then, of course, we've already got the curry in there, but as always, I always want to pour just a little bit more curry over the top of the dish. And this is my sister, Nancy here, Vanna White here, showing you the dish right there as it slides right off the plate onto the floor. So that's it. And, Chef, talk about something that's quick and easy and tasty. To have a meal ready to go in less than 10 minutes is a wonderful thing when you can microwave the ingredients and put them into a bowl and mix them together. That is an easy dish, and it's delicious. So that's recipe number 1.
It's so easy.
Okay. Yep, Chef, when you're right, you're right. And your book here is got so many good suggestions in it. So we love it. All right. Now the recipe number 2 is, this is called Kickin Curry Fry Sauce. And it's simply a sauce. This is from Brenda Pachel, P-A-C-H-E-L. Thank you, Brenda. This sauce is wonderful. I am so impressed with it. And it says, my name is Brenda Pachel, and my 2 favorite ways to eat air-fried French fries is with a touch of the curry balsamic by itself, or as the following fry sauce that I created. And she starts off with 2 tablespoons of unsweetened ketchup. She says, I use Primal Kitchen brand, and a tablespoon of curry balsamic, a tablespoon of unsweetened apple butter, and she uses the Eden brand, E-D-E-N, and 1/2 teaspoon of garam masala seasoning. I just happen to have this from our friends at local Spicery. Thank you very much, Nick. And a pinch of cayenne pepper. You simply mix all the ingredients together and enjoy with your favorite French fries. And that is it. So we air fried the potatoes, of course, just like you said, cooked them last night, put them in the refrigerator, chopped them up in there, and then put them in the air fryer just this morning. We just did a few minutes ago. And Nancy, you put in there, what did you put in seasoning?
I put the topping. I put the garam masala and the cayenne pepper. I mixed it together. I sprinkled it on the French fries before.
There we are.
To enhance that flavor just a little bit more.
Could you hear that, Chef?
Yeah, sounds fantastic.
Beautiful. So just a little bit more garam masala and cayenne on the fries into the air fryer, cook them up. Thank you very much. But the sauce is absolutely delicious. So that's what I'm really so pleased about with that. So Brenda, thank you so much. You're going to get 2 8-ounce bottles of your choice for your recipe for being on today's broadcast. So please let us know what you want for your 2 flavors. And thank you again. Okay. Let's see. Now, third fun recipe. This is from our friend Susan Varick. And Susan, thank you so much. We have this one and the other one are both yours. I absolutely think these are wonderful. The first one here is a sweet potato pancake. And she said, I have a new sweet potato pancake recipe for you, and you can use any balsamic you want to drizzle over the top. I use curry balsamic or smoked hickory or the blazing habanero. This recipe makes eating sweet potatoes so delicious. Enjoy them. So her ingredients are 4 medium-sized roasted sweet potatoes, cooled down, 1/2 to 1 red pepper chopped, and she says eyeball it if you want to use the whole red pepper, depending on how big it is. A small onion chopped, a couple of handfuls of chopped kale, a small jalapeno pepper chopped. If you want to de-seed that, that's fine to make it a little bit less spicy. 1 to 1.5 cups of flour of your choice. We used almond flour, and start with 1 cup and then add an additional 1/2 cup if it needs to bind the potatoes together. And then 1/2 to 1 cup of nutritional yeast. Again, start with 1/2 cup and add more if you need to. And then your favorite California balsamic. And so we, of course, use the curry in this. So it says, mash your sweet potatoes and then add the remaining ingredients, form into balls, and then squish them down and flatten them. Fry in a non-skillet pan until they're golden and crispy on both sides. Drizzle with your favorite balsamic. She said it makes about 8 cakes here, but we made them relatively small, so there were about 10 to 12 that we had out there. And Chef, you've been telling me for years how good the curry balsamic was on potatoes, and when we made this and we drizzled this balsamic vinegar, the curry balsamic, which is not one of my favorites in general by itself, but the curry balsamic with the sweet potatoes, we all looked at each other last night and said, this is delicious. I never knew. Well, of course, you've been telling me for the last 4 years how much you've liked it. And then I finally tried it myself, and holy moly, this is good. So if you're a fan of sweet potatoes and you're not a big fan of curry, try this. You just get when you place an order, you always get 2 1.6-ounce samples in the order notes. Ask for a curry balsamic, make a sweet potato dish, and use your free sample to try it for the first time. I bet you a nickel you're going to like it a lot, and then get bigger bottles in the future. But that's the way to try it.
People are asking if you sell gift certificates.
So we do have gift certificates. It's not a little gift card that you'd buy from Safeway or Trader Joe's, but we have a little certificate that when you call the number, my personal phone number and business number, 707-367-0155, and then you do that over the phone with me. The certificate is a nice colored piece of paper, and it says a gift for you, and then it says the price that you want it to be, and then there's a little sentence for you to say something like, "Happy birthday, Mom, I miss you so much." And then at the bottom of it, it has to and from, to Mom, love Kathy. And in the middle, it will say, email us at orders@californiabalsamic.com or call the telephone number to redeem the gift certificate. And that's all you need to do with it. And then, of course, you get your 2 samples with that gift certificate as well. So that's a sweet thing. We must have sent out 25 or 30 gift certificates for the Christmas holiday last month in December. So very popular. Any denomination you want for it, doesn't matter. So all good.
Do you eat your product every day in some way?
Oh, yes. We're constantly making the flavors. Some of them, of course, the most popular ones, they're made 4.5 gallons at a pop. So sometimes for the 7-herb Italian, our most popular flavor, we'll make 6 buckets in a single day. But we might not pour them all, but we'll make them. And so if it just depends on what time it is during the day and how many people we have in the kitchen working. Generally, there are 3 people in the kitchen, Crystal, John, and Chris, the manager. They're in there pretty much all day pouring different flavors. Some flavors will only make a single bucket, and other ones will make up to 6 or 8. Depending on the need at the time. We just had to make several buckets of the ruby red onion because we sent 8 gallons of it to the cruise line, the wellness cruise, at the end of February, and they're going to use our ruby red onion for one of the meals on the cruise line. And that's because one of your guests on your show back in late November, early December, was on the show, and you got us together, and we're donating product for that. So thank you for that connection, Chef.
Donating? They can't afford to buy it on a cruise?
Well, this is something I'm sure they could, but that's how we will advertise and have 2,000 people try our flavor. We've sent the lemon balsamic and the ruby red onion for 2 different meals. And then there's a little coupon that's being put on every pillow for all 2,000 people. So this is a wonderful way to open up a new market for advertising. And as always, Chef, the best way to do that is let people sample it.
Yeah, you're kind of like a drug dealer. First one free. First one free.
My brother has been calling me a drug dealer for the last 25 years.
Absolutely, because your stuff is addicting. If you want to come closer to the camera and then just show your dishes real close one more time and say what they are. The recipes are in the show notes, everybody.
Oh, yes. Sure. Here, this is the sweet potatoes. And with that curry balsamic, Chef, I just can't get over how good that is on sweet potatoes. It really mellows it out.
That looks delicious. Hey, Billy's watching.
Billy,
did you get your free samples yet? Billy loves potatoes. He lost over 100 pounds eating them. Oh, that looks delicious.
Oh, sweet. And then your curry in a hurry with all that wonderful broccoli.
It's so easy, and it's just as good as eating in a restaurant. Yep. Billy loves his 2 bottles.
Chef, it's better than a restaurant. Restaurants just don't put the love that you do at home for that. So
I think it's
Ethel and I have always said, we cook so much better than what a restaurant would do. So
I agree.
That's just my feeling. Yeah. So, but restaurants don't have these wonderful sauces, as we've said for years. The secrets in the sauce in California balsamic is the sauce.
One of the viewers is saying, I have a YouTube gallery of these recipes. I love this show. Thomas is always a joy to listen to. And Donna says, you need to donate to Holistic Holiday at Sea Cruise, March 17th. Do you want me to hook you up with those people? Chef AJ connects people.
I believe that's what we're on. The Holistic Cruise.
Oh, so you are the Holistic Holiday at Sea. You're on that one?
Yeah, so we're on that one.
Okay, good. So I've already connected you.
So So, and then if this pans out and we get some feedback from the cruise, there are apparently 2 cruises a year, and we will donate every time if we get people who are trying our product for the first time, and if we get enough orders from it, then we'll donate to the cruise every time they go out. So this is our first, so we don't know what kind of feedback we'll get. So fingers crossed.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Thomas.
Okay.
Any word on what you're going to do?
Wait a second. We've got one more, but wait, there's one more. And this is not on the show notes. It will be later on.
So it's
there's another
bonus recipe, huh?
This is a bonus recipe here. So let me just do this one. This is another one from Susan Barrett, and it's called Mango Coconut Curry. And this one's slightly bit more, just more ingredients. A small onion diced, 5 to 6 cloves of garlic minced, a 2-inch piece of fresh ginger minced, a tablespoon of tomato paste, SOS free, of course, a tablespoon of curry powder, a teaspoon of garam masala, you know whose I like, 2 cups of chopped cauliflower florets, 2 cans of light coconut milk, 2 cans of chickpeas rinsed and drained, a cup of fresh mango diced, and a tablespoon of maple syrup. Of course, that's optional. And then topping that with 1 to 2 tablespoons of California balsamic, the curry balsamic. In a large non-skillet saucepan, add the onion and saute until softened. Add a small amount of water to prevent it from sticking, as always. Add in the ginger, the garlic, tomato paste, curry powder, garam masala, and stir and saute for a minute until it gets fragrant. Add in the cauliflower and a splash of the coconut milk and saute an extra minute, and then add in the chickpeas and the remainder of the coconut milk. Stir together and bring to a simmer, and simmer on low for about 10 minutes. Add in the diced mango and maple syrup if you're using it, and stir for another 3 to 5 minutes until the curry has thickened, and then serve with some basmati rice and another extra splash of the curry balsamic. And I will say that this dish right here is 1/2 that I went through. This recipe would make double that. And the flavor of the sauce, especially with the coconut milk, is absolutely wonderful. So I am a huge fan of that dish. If you can find fresh mango, fantastic. We cut into 2 mangoes and they were both nasty. And so we used some frozen instead of that. But when mangoes are in season, use a fresh mango. You'll really appreciate that. But again, Susan, another fantastic dish on that. And then you just do this right over. And of course, for lunch, we've got some nice rice here, and we'll put some of that right over the curry, the dish right over our rice here, and then top it with the curry balsamic. And that is our bonus wrap recipe.
Okay, what flavor for next month, and tell people how to submit the recipes.
Yes. So next month's recipe is next month's flavor is going to be our Mandarin Orange, because this is orange season that's going on right now. So Mandarin Orange will be the flavor for next month. So please, send any recipes you have with the Mandarin Orange to orders@californiabalsamic.com. And if your recipe is put on the broadcast, you'll get 2 complimentary 8-ounce bottles for your recipes. And even if your recipe is not put for the broadcast, we'll put it on our website with your name on it. So every recipe that comes into us gets put on our website. So that's good news.
Okay, you should also send me the flavor and stuff to put in the show notes and where they can submit it. That
Yes.
would be good.
Yes, we will. All set, Chef.
Great. And when are the new flavors coming out?
Probably in March.
For my birthday. Okay, good.
That's it, Chef. Yep. So sun-dried tomato basil and jalapeno lime. We're going to use Nick's lime spice for that with fresh jalapenos and probably a little jalapeno powder. And then the sun-dried tomato and basil will be absolutely wonderful. We just have to figure out how much sun-dried tomato so it doesn't get too thick, because for whatever reason, the sun-dried tomatoes put into the balsamic and it sits for a couple of weeks, it thickens up the balsamic considerably. So that's kind of a natural phenomenon that we weren't aware of, but it sure tastes good.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Thomas. And let's see if we can spotlight Nick. Nick, what you got for us today?
Before I get into this, I just want to say I love the fact that Thomas is going to do Mandarin Orange next month, because next month we're going to be celebrating Bok Kai here in Marysville, which is the big Chinese Lunar New Year celebration. Bok Kai is the river god represented by a giant one-eyed serpent. But in Chinese culture, a gift of citrus is a wish for affluence and for financial success. And you see a lot of citrus being given as a gift around that time, because next week we're going to be doing something Cantonese and in line with Bok Kai, and I think it'll fit just perfectly with what Thomas has planned. Today, we're going to go through making a Peruvian ají amarillo sauce. And this is, I just got to say, it's the most delicious sauce you've ever had. Ají amarillo is a chili. It's a low heat chili. It does have some heat, but one of the things that you'll find after you make it is make it, put it in the refrigerator, and 24 hours later, the heat level has dropped considerably. In fact, this is one of those sauces that 24 hours in the refrigerator makes the whole thing a lot better. The stars of this sauce are the ají amarillo. I didn't bring a whole one up, but ají amarillo it's a giant yellow chili about this long. And the really, really special thing about ají amarillo, there's more than 2,000 varieties of chilies that we use for culinary purposes. And out of all those 2,000 varieties, all but 2 or 3 of them are the same species. They're all Capsicum annuum. So little tiny habanero chili, bell pepper, they're the same exact species. Ají amarillo is Capsicum frutescens. And you can really tell the difference in the flavor because it has a sweetness like a chili, but the sweetness is not a vegetable kind of sweetness. It's more of a fruity kind of a sweetness. And it is very, very different. It still has some rich umami complexity, but that umami complexity with the sweetness and the moderate heat, just spectacular. This is, throughout Peruvian cuisine, you'll find these yellow sauces. Most of them, about 75% of the recipe is the same. This is the dish that I'm putting together is a specific dish that's called papa Huancaina, which is potato in a Huancaina sauce. A traditional Huancaina sauce has cheese in it. This won't. But what I've done is I've made it in a fashion that is completely SOS free. And the fact that it goes so well with potatoes is just a bonus. In fact, I've always loved ketchup on potatoes. I thought that, potatoes were really just a ketchup delivery device. I would eat this over ketchup any day on potatoes. It's exquisite. It's a really, really quick sauce. It's all made in the blender. So once we get started, it's going to go really fast.
Hey, Nick, I had an idea. You want to hear it? I
do.
Okay, this could be really, really fun. Since you guys are coming on the show together, and since Thomas's flavor for next month, maybe you could do something with his flavor.
Absolutely.
In your recipe. What do you think of that idea, Thomas?
It's super easy. I'm always willing to work with Nick because we use his products regularly anyway. I mean, his 7-herb Italian herbs and spices are our best-selling products. So we owe a great deal to local spicery.
I think our products are very complementary, and our palates are also. Chef AJ asked you if you eat your eat your product every day, and I actually eat California balsamic just about every day, except for those very sad days when we run out and have to order more. We got to do something about those days. Actually, our big news, we're working with Thomas, and I'd say within a month, we're going to start selling California balsamic products in our store in Tiburon. And I'll throw this out. Yeah, if anyone out there, thinks that you're someone that would be coming into Tiburon to purchase, send us a quick email at customer service at local spicery. Tell me what it is you'd like to see us carry, and we'll get that in our initial order. But we're excited to be doing that. All right, so this sauce, and coming back to you, AJ, absolutely, my dish next month is gonna feature. It's going to feature California balsamic's Mandarin Orange, and I'm going to have to get some because I don't have that one yet. So this sauce, rather than being a cheese-based sauce, it's going to be a nut-based sauce. These are just half a cup of cashews, unroasted, unsalted. A lot of people, when they make a nut-based sauce, they'll soak the cashews overnight. I find you don't really need to do that. In fact, what I find is if you just, when you put it in with a liquid, spin it for a while in the blender, then let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes, spin it again, let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes, spin it a third time. Absolutely as creamy as if you soaked it the night before. I'm not a good guy with soak it the night before, because so many times if I try to plan ahead like that, I'll soak it the night before, but the following night I'll work late, I'll drag myself home at 10:30 at night, and the last thing I want to do is make a sauce. And it's if I can make it all at once, it's much better for me. So we got the cashews. This is 3/4 cup of water. This recipe, by the way, it's up on our website at localspicery.com, and then just scroll down from the home page till you see the picture of this kitchen, and it has a word that says blog. Click on it, and the first thing you'll see is this recipe. So we've got the cashews, we got the water, and then we're going to add the flavors. So I've got the ají amarillo, and this is it's dried and ground. I'm putting 2 tablespoons in. Actually, this sauce, when you first make it and it's fresh, you really get the flavor of the ají amarillo, and which is really intensely sweet. After it sits for a day, it's not nearly so sweet, and I find it to be a lot more pleasant then. Hold on. So we put a little bit of turmeric just to try to counteract some of that sweetness with the rich umami flavor of turmeric. Also, the yellow of the turmeric helps make this a more yellow sauce, which is one of the signatures of the dish. So it's just a half a teaspoon turmeric. I'm going to go put some freshly milled garlic in here. It's just 3/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. This is another question we've been talking with this. We've been so into this sauce. We've been thinking about putting it together in a pre-made blend that people can purchase, and you would basically have all of these front ingredients blended together and just put it in your blender with the nuts, some water, and some vinegar, and you'd be set. If anybody has any thoughts on that, let us know, because I think we're talking about doing that maybe within a month. Cumin, just a tiny bit of cumin, and again, this is only a 1/4 teaspoon of cumin. You almost can't taste it in the dish, but it does help bring the sweetness down. We're trying to counteract the sweetness of those chilies by putting in these rich umami flavors.
Nick, is it cumin or cumin?
Well, I always say cumin, but I hear people say cumin, and I guess I have to say either. But I don't know. I haven't really researched that. That'd be fun to look into.
Well, cumin rhymes with human. I never heard it pronounced that way.
Okay, this is apple cider vinegar, just a tablespoon. And this is just to give it a little bit of a tangy lift. I'm going to put a quarter of a cup of oat milk, which gives it a little sense of the the fat environment of a cheese-based sauce. Also richens the texture of the sauce. And then just a bit of citrus. So I'm gonna do a half of a lemon. Oh, I almost forgot the most important thing. There's that. Half of a lemon. A teaspoon of salacious.
Oh, that's the best stuff.
The one thing that with this sauce, and again, is to counteract the sweetness of those chilies. Without the salty flavor to counteract them, it can be hard to take. So I'm putting a full teaspoon of the salacious in, and that's it, folks. We have just made one of the tastiest sauces that you've ever had. Cover your ears if you're sensitive.
That's okay, because Zoom mutes it. I saw a question in the chat about some kind of salt that I wanted to ask Nick, and now I can't find it. So if you're still there, or moderators tell me where it is, somebody was looking for a certain type of salt. Because Nick does sell spices with salt, even though he sells a lot of salt-free spices.
Mm-hmm. So that's probably enough. If I were doing this at home and didn't want to get this done for you quickly, like I said, I just let this sit for 10 minutes and then come back and spin it again.
Here it is. Nick, there's a question. Do you sell, Sumati wants to know, do you sell Kala Namak, Indian salt?
Yes, we do.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and actually that's a good one, a good question. A lot of people, we get a lot of questions from people asked about black salt, and we get some people who purchase our Hawaiian black salt, which is a very different product. Kala Namak is it's a mined pink salt, essentially Himalayan pink salt, which is taken out in chunks like this, and then it's coated in a paste of minerals and spices, and then that block coated goes into a kiln and is heated to a very high temperature, and the flavors of the spices and the flavors of the minerals actually combine at the high heat with the salt, and it creates this, sulfurous. It's got a very, very strong sulfur flavor, and then it's milled to a very, very fine powder. A lot of people use it as a way to approximate an egg flavor, because it's a very, very strong sulfur flavor. But if it is not for everybody. If you don't realize that it is a strong sulfur flavor, you're going to be surprised by it. But yes, we do carry it, absolutely.
I think people use it to make like vegan eggs, like
Yes.
What's it called? Deviled eggs. That's why people use it, I think.
Yep, absolutely. It's a cool product, and I think it's really cool the way they make it. All right, so the potatoes are something that I'm just giving short shrift to. It's something my beautiful wife batch cooks. We love these. These are smashed potatoes, and I'll ask for everybody who has smashed potatoes in their refrigerator, raise your hand, and we'll know that we're all good. What she does is steams little baby potatoes. They look like this. This is about the size. Put them in the steamer, steam them for, I think, about 20-25 minutes. The key is to get them to the point where, a fork will go into it with some resistance, but not so soft that you could mash it. Once you pull it out, it will, they'll continue to cook. If you think you overcooked it a little bit, you're going to have to put it in very cold water to stop the process. But the key is, you want them to be firm. So, usually she'll steam them and then put them in the refrigerator, and the next day smash them. So the only way to smash them, we do it with a glass. You have to have, this is the perfect glass. I don't know if you can get this exact glass, but the process is you just place the potato down, glass goes on the top, and you push it down evenly. You want to get it down just to where the potato breaks apart, about a 1/2 inch thick, and that's a smashed potato. We take these and we put them in the air fryer, air fry them at 400 degrees for about 10 minutes. And you get these little babies, which is what we hang on to, batch cooked. They are so useful to have in the refrigerator. You put any decent sauce on them and you're going to have a great dish. So I'm going to lay these out in terms of quantities. I'll usually figure about 5 or 6 of these for me for a lunch. It is traditional that this dish is served cold. You can serve it hot as well. You can serve it, room temperature. Sometimes I'll heat it up, but it is absolutely correct to be serving it cold. You can see I've just layered the potatoes out. I'm going to, did I forget? Okay, just make sure I forget things all the time. We're going to just pour some the sauce on top of the potatoes. Guess I got to take this off.
Only 5 or 6 potatoes? What are you, lightweight?
I knew I was going to get it from you. I was sure impressed by the weight of those lunches that we had on Sunday.
They were delicious, weren't they?
They were. So that's the sauce on it, and then the way that you garnish it is just as important. It's traditional to put olives. When I usually use black olives, and I rinse them to get most of the salt off. Just the black olives in a can seem to have the lowest sodium content. I was out this morning, so these are some Greek calamatas I'm going to put on here. But the flavor of olives goes extremely well. But I know that many people that are listening are going completely salt-free and won't be doing olives. I like the flavor of onion in it. I'll frequently chop up scallions, and I have some beautiful scallions sitting in my refrigerator back at home I forgot to bring in. But this is basically the dish. I'm going to bring it up to you, and you can see how pretty it is and how quickly it comes together, and it is absolutely, absolutely delicious. Make this sauce, keep it in your refrigerator. You can thin it out with a little bit of additional lemon juice, and it's a great salad dressing. It is phenomenal on bowls. It pairs really well with brown rice and beans and the veggies that we put in our bowls. And it's a great sauce to have on hand. I recommend it highly.
Both of you guys have been coming on for a year. Why don't each of you write a book already?
Well, if Thomas writes a book, I will buy a copy of it.
Okay. Well, you can sell each other's book. So somebody named Michelle, Nick wrote in some questions for you, if you don't mind answering them regarding spices. So first question she says is, in regards to vanilla powder for recipes, do you recommend Amazon products mostly due to cost? I noticed Local Spicery has a vanilla powder product, so I was curious if you had tried it. Oh, yes, that's a question for me. So it is technically not your vanilla powder, though, right? You didn't make it.
That's right. The vanilla is the only one that we're selling someone else's product, and it's from someone we know very well and we trust a whole lot.
Right. And I'm going to be honest, I buy, when it comes to vanilla powder, I do buy whatever's cheapest, as long as it's pure vanilla. So I'll go on Amazon, and if it's cheaper than Nick's, I'll buy something on Amazon, because I do use a lot of it. But the one from Local Spicery is excellent. So just so you know.
I would jump in on that, and I would just say, be careful. If you can send them a question, just ask them the country of origin for the vanilla, because terroir makes a huge impact on the flavor of vanilla. And some vanillas are very, very powerful, and some vanillas are not. So if you're there is a huge difference in flavor, say, between a Veracruz vanilla from the Veracruz Valley in Mexico, and a Papua New Guinea Tahitiensis.
Now you got me interested. So if I can run to the fridge, I'll see if it says the country of origin. But that's very good advice. She also
most vanilla comes from Madagascar, and Madagascan vanilla is very, very good.
Fantastic. Okay, her next question is: could sumac be consumed by itself to taste like salt, or does the spice need to be mixed with other ingredients? I'm going to say that I don't think sumac exactly tastes like salt, but it creates how do I explain it? It's like you don't feel like you need salt. So I just sprinkle it. You talk about it, Nick.
Well, and I think, you and I probably have the same thoughts on this, that in the mouth, we register a sour flavor and a salty flavor in the same parts of the mouth. So that when you put it in your food, it will register either sour or salty. And sumac is a sour flavor. I find that when you put sumac in, you do get a salty flavor, and that was really the genesis of our salacious. What we did was we layered some umami flavors on it, and it's not for everybody. I mean, I've had some people call and go on and on and on about how they just hate seafood and they can't eat anything that has sea vegetables in it. We do have a tiny bit of kombu kelp in it, and in which case I tell them, try just the pure sumac. I had another woman who liked to put salt in her oatmeal and was looking for something to separate that, and she didn't care for the flavor of the salacious in her oats, and so I suggested she try the sumac, and that again was a good solution. But they can be interchangeable. I find that the salacious, has more of a salty flavor because of the umami flavors, as we know. In addition to providing a salty flavor, salt also breaks down fats and releases umami flavors. So.
Nice, thank you. And there is a few questions actually, so it's so nice that she wrote them in advance. Is there an SOS blend that resembles the flavor of a Hidden Valley Ranch seasoning packet? If there's not, Nick, that's a great suggestion.
Not that I make, but it would be a good one to do. It would. So I guess first thing I'd have to do is get really familiar with how far they develop the flavor in the Hidden Valley. To make a ranch, usually you have to add some sort of a creamy liquid to it. I'm sure you could do it with nuts. AJ, you've got a phenomenal recipe for ranch dressing.
Oh, you can do it. You can do it with, it doesn't have to be nuts. It can be beans. It can be, seeds. It can be even cauliflower. So don't worry.
Silken tofu.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you keep working on that and the bacon flavor, okay?
The bacon, as you know, is really close. I just need the time to finish it up. And we're so busy here and so shorthanded, but things are looking up.
Fantastic. Okay. And she asks, would you consider taking limited order requests each month for a CYO, create your own spice blends? I have multiple food allergies and aversions to certain herbs and spices and nightshade vegetables. And sometimes it could be a matter of just one ingredient in a blend where I could not consume the product. For example, I would love to create a bouillon blend I could cook with and consume without having to purchase all the individual ingredients to make some type of blend at home.
Yeah. And I really wish that I could say yes to that, but it's a lot of labor to make a custom blend, and then we take the labor that goes into the creation of the blend, and it gets divided over the volume that we make. For us, we find we do our blends in 10 to 15 pounds, and in 10 to 15 pound quantities, we can get by, but something smaller than that, we just couldn't make any money doing it. If you have any ideas how to do that, I'd love to hear it, because I think it's a great idea, but I don't have a sense how to do that.
Well, the thing is, maybe just charge more for a custom service, just say, yes, I can do it, but because of that, we'll have to charge more. So let me bring Thomas back on. You guys are side by side. So what do you think of this tandem cooking, you guys?
This is a no-brainer here, because Nick and our products are just practically married together already.
Well, and it's great to get to see you, Thomas. We don't actually see each other that often, so.
Well,
We'll make a date once a year.
Well, wait a minute. No. Let's make a date right now for you guys to come to my house in February or March or January, you know?
And I know that Ethel is jonesing to come out there because she missed the last time that we did get together a year ago-ish for your old house that you were in the Sacramento area. And she wished that she had been able to go. So she's jonesing to go to the next one.
You guys pick it and I will make it, and I'll have Tammy Kramer come over too, and anybody else that loves you guys and your products. Well, this has been a lot of fun. Oh, you know, Mona's saying, what do you guys put your pepperoni spice on? That's so funny that she mentioned that now, because I'm going to be doing a cooking demonstration for the McDougall program, which I do when they have the program. And I'm actually going to be using the pepperoni spice, which is how I first met Nick, and teriyaki was how I first met Thomas. And I like to put it on mushrooms and then air fry them. And it's a fantastic topping for pizza and really anything Italian. You know, take a potato and I just love it on mushrooms. But it's also great on potatoes. Air fry the potatoes with the pepperoni spice.
I like it on sweet potatoes. That's my favorite thing to put it on.
Oh, I haven't tried it on sweet, just regular. I'm just checking the chat if there's any more questions. And, you know, maybe one day since you guys are going to be on every month, we should do like a little Iron Chef with you guys where I tell your wives the ingredient. And I know, Thomas, you know, you're not really the cook, but it could be fun and we'll pick easy ingredients, you know?
We're always up for a challenge, Chef.
And we won't make you use lavender balsamic.
Thank you.
Did anybody buy a bottle of lavender this weekend?
They did not, but we have customers who absolutely love the lavender balsamic. They order it online, so there's a flavor for everyone.
Absolutely. So everything's in the show notes, guys, the ways to order and get 2 free samples from both of these wonderful products. And Mona, I'm doing the class on Saturday, but it's a private class. You have to be in the McDougall program to see that. It's not for the public. So anyway, we started our reboot program today. So welcome all the people in the chat that are in there. And if you missed out, you know, maybe if you email us in the next few minutes, we can get you in. So Nick, you don't have to do a particular spice because we're not doing the same thing with the viewers. But if you ever wanted to do that, you know, where you tell the viewers, you know, this is the spice of the month and send me the recipes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But it's right now, our plan next month, we're doing Cantonese, and in March, I'd like to go Cajun. I'll ask you a question, AJ. Have you ever done a SOS free gumbo?
I don't think I have, but that sounds really quite delicious. Will you put okra in it?
Could be okra. You know, we would definitely do filet, and in some ways, the filet and the okra are redundant. They're both thickeners that we would use. But certainly a lot of gumbos do both. I love okra in my gumbo. The biggest problem I have is what do you do to replace the roux?
You know, you can make a roux with potato, where you blend up a little potato. Roux is just a thickener.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, it's such a building block element to a good gumbo.
I would ask Kathy Hester. She has a regular slot on this show, and she's actually a magician with stuff like that. So I would probably ask her. And she would probably know. Actually, I'm going to text her as soon as we get off the air, and I'll get back to you, because we all have to stick together, all those with our slots on Chef AJ Live. Well, Thomas and Nick, you guys are a barrel of fun, such good people, and I can't wait to have you. So California Balsamic is commenting, potato starch roux. Why not? Yeah, that's what I said was potato. So we'll see. All right. So we will see you guys next month. Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Chef. Always a pleasure.
Well, it's great seeing you guys. Ooh, take my glasses off now. And thanks all of you for watching another episode of Chef AJ Live. Please come back tomorrow when we debut another new show, Dr. Esser's Prescription for Health. And Dr. Esser has his own California Balsamic pack. So